Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and we are back, finally, to F1 24, and we are back to finally start the F1 24 driver career mode. Finally, it is here. Thank you guys for the support I've already received on the first video, greatly appreciate it. If you want to check out more videos, please go check them out below. I make a bunch of other content involving with the F1 games, and I am back finally able to play F1 24 career mode for the first time, and greatly appreciated, very excited. I always love this feeling of playing the career mode, so I'm glad. And if you guys want to see more videos, please go check that out below. But anyways, right now at the moment we're just going to be making our character and everything else like that, and we will be seeing where we go, which I'll not give out any spoilers. You guys do not know where I'm going, but you guys will figure out later in the video. But yeah, if you want to see more, please go check that out below. But anyways, we're going to get all the boring stuff out of our way, get our name and stuff like that situated before we actually meet our agent, and she should be talking in this next slide, I hope.
Hey, I'm Elena. I'll be your agent for your sure-to-be legendary career in Formula One. Great to meet you. Now that we've introduced ourselves, you'll see that you now have a set of driver ratings. These will be tied to you for the entirety of your career and will track your progress. As you perform well out on track, these ratings will improve and feed into various other areas of your journey through F1. We'll cover each rating in more detail later.
Alrighty, there's our agent, Emma, and as you saw by our rating, we're pretty low, I will say that, but that's just part of how it is, I guess you could say, considering that we are the newest rookie on the grid. But now it is time to pick our team. Where are we gonna go? But there was our rating once again, 65. We'll cover more into it, but here we go, the juicy choice. Where do we want to go now? I didn't have a plan on where I wanted to go. I wanted to do Mercedes and take on the Williams, but here's the thing. I wanted to be in a really just crappy car, and Williams supposedly have the 6th fastest car within the game, so I was like, well, I want to go with the slowest team, and I get the nerf will be coming, but I just want to go with a real back marker. There was Ferrari, there was Kick Sauber, but they're again pretty high up, and Haas, they were pretty low, but Haas is about to get a major buff once the update comes out, so I can't go with them. I was thinking about going to Red Bull and taking on the V car, but that car is pretty good, so I think ultimately we'll go with the back marker, and I think Alpine is the perfect destination. Probably the worst team on the grid, but overall, I think that this would be excellent if we went to Alpine. So yeah, but there's our rating. You can see 65 as our overall. We got 50 experience, 66 racecraft, 64 awareness, 68 pace, and everything else like that.
So, decision time. Who will you drive for this season? Tough choice, I know. On this screen, you can view all the available teams and view some information about them to help you make a choice. Here, you can check out the basic information covering their principal, HQ, and vehicle information. Opposite this, you can see the current performance of this team compared to the rest of the field. This performance will change, depending on your success with development during the coming seasons. Recognition is a system that the team will use to determine how much R&D responsibility you were given. You will be compared against your teammate, and resource points will be split accordingly. Increase your recognition by improving your driver ratings, your current contract, and other bonuses that we'll cover later.
Alrighty, team choice time. As I said before, I went with the Alpine Academy. Again, they probably have by far the worst car on the grid. Looking at recognition within the team, only 90% of Max Verstappen. Verstappen has 89%, so basically it's the whole team covered. But yeah. We're taking a look at, this is the performance in chart supposedly that it is. Obviously this will get an update later within the year, but ultimately I think we'll go with Alpine. We're part of their academy, and I want to. It's kind of spicy. I want to go with a real back mark, and I think Alpine would just be the perfect destination for that. And to be fair, this team needs to get back up to at least midfield contention, because yeah, that whole team's a joke. So I think ultimately we'll go with Alpine.
Okay, who would you like your teammate to be? You can view both of the current drivers and toggle through some information here before making your decision. It might have an impact on your standing within the team.
Well, I think this is pretty easy. Sorry, Ocon, but I like Pierre Gasly as my teammate. I really don't want drama within the team, and I think Ocon will crash into us at least like 40 times. So let's break up the French Civil War, and let's partner up with Pierre Gasly, shall we? And there it is. It is time. Very excited, but yeah, it's gonna be amazing. Let's get on to it.
Finally, let's do this for real. Sorry it took so long. You know what these legal types are like? Yes, sir. No, sir. Here's 80 pages of needless jargon, sir. Anyway, believe it or not, this is my excited face. Come on, come on. Let me show you what we've got. So, all the usual stuff. Merchandising, likeness, blah, blah, blah. But the really juicy stuff is their expectation of you. They need you to challenge yourself all season, be the best you can be, dominate your teammate, become a legend. All that jazz. Now, it's over to you.
Okay, here we are. It's contract time. The team are expecting you to improve as your career evolves. And so am I. Here, we will be setting you a contractual target with the team, so that this progress can be tracked by both parties. Here, you can view your current ratings with your overall rating, or RTG, shown at the top. This is the value that will be used to set your contract target. In order to improve this, you'll need to show your worth at each race weekend. Your current rating has been used as a starting point. Move this slider to set your target for next season. A higher target requires consistently good results at each race weekend, but you'll get more recognition when you sign. Here, you can view your recognition with the team. The higher the target you set yourself, the more recognition you will earn when you sign. More recognition equals more car development. More car development makes car go fast. You know the drill. Remember, if you fail to meet that target, you will lose this recognition bonus, so don't bite off more than you can chew. You can see some basic information on the contract, as well as the number of seasons your contract will last. After this season concludes, you may be offered longer contracts, if the team thinks you deserve one. A longer contract will give another recognition bonus when you sign. There's a few other points for us to go over, but we can leave those until you're settled. I'll leave you to finalize your terms.
Alrighty, so here's the contract. It's a 1-year deal. This deal will run through the end of the season, so Alpine have only been giving us a 1-year deal, which I think is a good starter because anything can happen, and judging by the Alpine Academy, I would have went with no academy because I didn't really have a plan, but I think honestly Alpine was just the best option. So yeah, our recommended, we're gonna go 70 or 69. I might go 70. I don't want to go all the way up to the top because I don't know really how good I will be against Pierre Gasly. I don't know how it's gonna be. Gasly's gonna be a tough driver, but yeah, we're signed to the grid.
We are on the Formula One grid for 2024. That sounds awesome to say. Time to go crush that target. I'll see you soon.
There it is. The contract has been signed, and we are officially on the grid with Alpine for 2024. And it is a 1-year deal, which I am happy it's a 1-year deal, and I'm glad it's not a multi-year deal. I thought you could sign with a multi-year deal, honestly, but I guess not. It looks like that has to wait until let's see how good your performance is against Pierre Gasly. But here we are at our house. I'm gonna assume it's in Monaco. Pretty nice house, I will say that. But yeah, very, very, very exciting. And I'm gonna talk over Emma, our agent, because she's just telling us all the basic stuff. But there are some new additions into the career mode, say, which is specialists. You can go see a specialist for sort of objectives that you would like to achieve, and kind of helps you with your recognition. But yeah, I think we know what all this stuff is. We've played it before, we've done this before, so it's not a big update, but it's still a pretty big update, I will say that. But yeah, there's our rival Pierre Gasly. Your teammate's always your first rival, but yeah. And R&D return progress, but there we are on the grid. We're the 8th fastest car. We're just ahead of RB and Haas. Obviously, those two will receive a big buff whenever the upgrade will come out, and the Williams and Sauber will receive a huge nerf. I think Aston would probably get a big nerf. I think maybe Mercedes will get a slight one, same as Red Bull maybe. Nothing too severe, but yeah, anything could change. I don't know when the performance update will be coming out, honestly, so who knows. But yeah, R&D time. Real quick, actually, when we talk about R&D, thankfully now, instead of you doing the upgrades by yourself, your teammate actually helps you put upgrades on the car, which is, I'm glad, because when you're the only one upgrading the car, it stinks, and it's just overall sucky, I will say that. But yeah, we do have some resource points. We got 300. Can't really put any upgrades on the car yet, because everything is about 400, so I don't know if we will actually get an upgrade on in time before Bahrain. I hope we do, but I don't think we will. But yeah, it is time for the grid reveal to see where we are. Look at that grid. Ain't that grid so beautiful? Yeah, they kind of changed it up. It's no more like car reveal. I thought it was just a car reveal, but no, just a grid reveal, which is cool. I do like that they added that, but again, there's just it's just little improvements, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, anything could change honestly once we play more. But yeah, anyways, upgrade time. Gasly actually put some weight reduction on, so thank you, Pierre. I actually was gonna do some weight reduction because this car, I can already tell it's gonna be heavy. It looks heavy. Obviously, there's so much carbon fiber on the car, but it just seems heavy. But yeah, I think we're gonna get this engine upgrade on. I'm thinking about that, or front downforce. We are struggling a little bit in the front. It says 6, but I mean, I don't know how good it's really gonna be. So, and I do like a car with a good front end. I can't drive a car with a crappy front end, that's for sure. We know too much about that. So yeah.
The long wait is over. This is it, a brand new season. And before the show gets well and truly underway, we've got the all-important matter of a free practice session. It's great to be back. It's so exciting to be here at a new season. Plenty for the drivers to get their heads around. What will be going through their minds right now?
The faster you can work around the circuit conditions and get the car tailored to your liking, the better, and then you can just focus on the job in hand in terms of lap times. But first of all, you've got to get the car feeling right.
Okay, mate, this is the first running of the real car. Now, I know it's a big ask, but let's get some useful data and get you used to how the practice sessions work. Let's start the season as we mean to go on, eh? I know we can have a great year, so let's go.
Let's try to have a great year with this crappy car. But yeah, FP1, FP2. I didn't really record much in practice. It's just practice. Who really gives a damn? It just kind of shows you where everybody is. But there we go. Practice 1 is done. First time like in the car for yeah, this car's got it's it's got some flaws, but P11 on a qualifying run, and again, it's really struggling around here. No confidence, struggling under the brakes. I've been locking up so much this entire practice session. It's getting so bad, so it's gonna be a struggle, I think, in the first race, low key. And it's always kind of a struggle within the first race, so I'm not really worried too much about it. But yeah, it's gonna be tough, especially first race, because we don't know where everybody is gonna stand up, and anybody can be anywhere. So yeah, but we'll try our best. Qualifying is obviously very important because well, kind of determines your grid. But a Q1 knockout is not a Q1 knockout is something I don't want, but it is something that could honestly happen. So first race is always kind of a struggle for the player. I feel like the AI are always better in the first race compared to the player, but again, maybe it's just my analysis because I'm horrible at the first race. But anyways, it's time for Saturday. It's time for qualifying. Let's go see what we can do in qualifying.
Well, as the sun goes down, the speeds go up. It's almost time to get underway for this shootout for the fastest time and the best possible grid position for tomorrow's race. Let's get on with it. It's qualifying for the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Here we are, ready for qualifying. Very pink, purple helmet. I tried to make it blue, but I didn't realize how purple it was. So, new helmet will be coming. Don't worry. They only give you one helmet for customization, which is weird because I thought they give you at least like 2 helmets, but they don't. So that's kind of crappy. But yeah, so we'll just try our best within, and especially first laps within this car. Like I said, really struggled in a lot of confidence in this car. I have had no confidence whatsoever the entire weekend. I've been locking up everywhere. I am using a whole new set of pedals as well, so this could be a very challenging start to begin with. And anyways, right there, completely messed up the braking, and that's me still getting used to these pedals. I've switched over to a different type of pedals, so it's a little bit challenging. I did have pretty crappy pedals, pretty cheap ones, and I switched over to not load cell yet, but a more of a bittersweet upgrade. I forgot what they are, but they are Thrustmaster pedals. I have a T300 RS wheelbase as well, so first career mode race really on using these pedals. So I put in a lot of practice on wheel, so hopefully everything can improve as we go on. But anyways, here we go down into turn number into this corner here, turn number 4. Obviously, we got through turn 1 pretty well. Like I said, very challenging to get through this part of the corners. Very heavy through here. Car was sicking though. A lot of good front end, good grip overall with these cars. But again, not a very good rear end, I will say, in this Alpine. But yeah, got off that exit pretty well. The handling, ever since I played more of the game, the handling I feel like I've gotten used to the handling, especially with my rear rotation up to 400. So I've been getting used to it. The handling still needs some things to work on, but as I've been playing more, I've been getting used to it. But anyways, down into the next DRS straight through this corner right here. Really struggled through this corner, very wide, missed the apex by a minute, and went over those outside curves, which you do not want to do. And heading through this next long, fast corner, heading down into this braking zone right here. Very difficult to hit that apex in this with this car. Car is very twitchy, I feel like, on the front end, so it makes it a little bit challenging. But anyways, here we down into the penultimate corner of this lap. Foot braking, and then foot flat to the floor. Very easy to get on the throttle here. Once again, here we go down across the checker flag for the first run here. Let's see where this is going to put us. And it puts us only P10, 130.479. That is not a good first lap, I will say that. Yeah, that was rough. And Gasly, he's the gas man. He put in an absolute amazing lap, a 130.6. So yeah, 4/10 off my teammate, ahead of Lando Norris, Magnussen ahead of Ricardo as well. Ricardo didn't have a great lap. Norris shouldn't be back here. I wonder if he got impeded or something like that. I wonder if he actually did get a penalty, not a penalty, if he got impeded by someone. But here we go, final run in Q1. Hopefully this gets us into Q2. I doubt it though. I don't have confidence in this car. But here we go down to turn number 1 once again. Very good front lock up there, and like I said, very struggled over the brakes through that corner. Through there was really solid. Heading up into the DRS now, a little bit down in time with that lockup. I think that didn't help. Heading into turn 4, this corner, very very challenging as well for this car. It just won't turn within the corner, and right through here, this corner, I actually have to go down a gear. I could take that. You could take it in 6th gear, but I had to go down to find some speed. So we fell 3/10 now, and a big lock up there once again, and that did not help us whatsoever, and we lost even more time with that lockup. So that kind of just ruined the lap, and that part right there, very challenging to get right in this car. I will say that braking zone is challenging, but now 2/10 up, almost 3/10 up on this lap. We were almost about 6/10 up if we didn't have that lockup down into that difficult braking zone. Downhill, and once again through that corner very well. Now 3/10, almost 4/10 up now on this lap. I don't know if this will be good for Q2, but we're going to push all the way to the end and see what happens. And through this corner right there, a little bit of a twitchy front end. I was really losing a lot of the grip. The tires fall off pretty quickly around here. The deg is pretty high around Bahrain, especially in lower temperatures, which is kind of weird. Track temp is probably still very high heading into the last corner. Now once again, do we get into Q2? We're going to find out here now. 2/10 up. I don't think it's good enough. And we'll see our time. And it's not good enough. It's 19th on the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix. That is tough. That is, wow. That was challenging. I absolutely had nothing. I had no pace within this car whatsoever. This is a boat. This whole car is a boat. Very, very, very. It's like it's a tank. It is a tank, man. Oh boy. Well, at least Gasly got into Q2 there. He put in a good lap, but again, knocked out by Yuki Tsunoda, taking the last spot. So yeah, the bottom 5 are out. So both the Americans, me and Sargent, are both out. Hulkenberg's out, Magnussen's out, and Ricciardo's out. Ricciardo actually got a 5-place grid penalty, so I wonder if he impeded Lando Norris. Verstappen topped the timings in the first session. So yeah, there's that. But anyways, about a 130.2 on our lap, and yeah, that wasn't great. I will say that. But anything could change within the race. Our race pace is usually better than our qualifying pace. I will say that. But yeah, very, very rough start so far to very rough start really to this session. So anything can improve. Our teammate Gasly is happy that he beat us. Myself, I'm upset, as you can see by my character. But yeah, and again, after the qualifying session, your rating will get adjusted. I would go down 6-7 on pace. So don't worry, we're gonna get that pace back up. But it is time for the race.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal, and it's make or break here at round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. Formula One returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36-mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities, and it could be a strategic race, this one, with Sakhir notorious for eating up the rear tyres. Watch out for drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Sainz, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Russell, Bottas, Stroll, Tsunoda, Zhou, Albon, Gasly, Sargent, Hulkenberg, Cowboy, Hamilton, Magnussen, and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And alongside me today, a man who I'm always pleased to see join me in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Now, it's a new season, plenty of new opportunities, but I think I'm going to start with a question we may have asked last year as well. Can anyone stop Max Verstappen?
That's what they're hoping for. And that's what we're hoping for as well in some ways, because we don't want to see just one driver or one team running away with it this season like we had last year or even the years gone by in this sport. Can we get to see a two-way or even a 3- or 4-way fight throughout this race today? Fingers crossed we'll get that.
Back of the grid, not great, I know, but let's just try and use the first lap to push your way up the order.
Thanks, Mark. We'll try our best. I think obviously it's going to be a challenge no matter what. The car is not where I want it to be. Like I said, just struggled a lot with confidence. But here's the strategy. A two-stopper. Some shades of F1 2019, I feel like, because if it was a two-stopper back in F1 2019 through 2019 and 2021, because, you know, once if you went onto the soft tires, you would do a two-stopper. If you were in 11 to 20th, it was a one-stop. But now with free tire choices, doesn't matter. But I think, honestly, we'll go with the soft, hard strategy. I think that is the preferred strategy. I wanted to see if I can go mediums to hard, but again, the deg is so high around here. It's pretty bad. And looking at some of the strategies through the grid, Alonso and them, they're going mediums. Ricardo's on hards. Tsunoda's on hards. Yes, Tsunoda's on hard tires as well. So a couple guys on mediums, 2 guys on hards, and we're on the soft tires, and basically everybody else on the grid's on the hard tires as well. So it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be pretty challenging, I think, the first race, because I don't know where we're going to stack up. But we start P17. Hamilton had a penalty. He starts 18th. Magnussen 19th. Ricciardo dead last. Gasly's up there in 14th. Verstappen's going to lead this way for the Grand Prix. And here we go. 5 red lights here around Bahrain for the first race of the season. Lights out, and away we go. It is time for the Bahrain Grand Prix. We got a mediocre start. It wasn't the best start. Hamilton jumped us at the start, and we got to dump some overtake there. Once again, one thing, you can also change your ERS mode through this lap. And there we go. Oh, into the back of... So close into the back of one of the Williams. I think that was Sargent. We actually cut the corner. We actually overtook Gasly. We gave up the positions, but it looks like more guys got into an accident. There's the crash down to turn number 1. I don't know what happened. We'll take a look and see what happened, but it looks like it's one of the Haas's and maybe the 2 RBs that got in. Maybe the 2 RBs touched or someone else like that, but we got ahead of Gasly. We had to avoid a collision with Sargent. We actually just, like I said, the new brakes are challenging to get used to, but holy, that was difficult, I will say that. And heading down into this part of the track, like I said, struggled through here a lot during the race, and now following Sargent. The dirty air, the new with the dirty air now in this game, it's pretty bad to follow some cars, but I think once you get used to it, you get used to it. So Gasly's going to be all over the back of us here. We're going through hot lap. And again, you could change all the ERS modes, which is pretty cool now. I like it that they brought that back, because I think they got rid of it in 2019, which I really didn't like, because you could change the ERS modes however you wanted to. And now you can finally change them again, which is pretty cool. So thank you for that, EA and Cody's, I will say that. But lap 1 is about to be complete, and there is the way. Charles Leclerc, I believe, leads the way ahead of Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, and Carlos Sainz. George Russell also in 5th, I believe, as well. And look down all the grid. There's that bright kickstart. Let's take a look what happened. The race restart here, and yeah, we absolutely shunted our brakes. Here's a look what happened between Tsunoda and I think that was Hulkenberg, and yeah, he got beached on the curb, and it just caused a concertina effect. Ricciardo had to put it in reverse, and I think Daniel's having a heart attack or something, because he's moving the wheel left and right. So get it together, mate. You're racing, buddy. You're not freaking. Please don't tell me you're dying. We need you. But anyways, lap 2 now. Like I said, keeping up with Sargent, but I think it's kind of helping, because Zhou and them, they had a little slight battle. I feel like that's kind of helping us. But again, Sargent is pretty quick within that straight line, and like they said, big, I want to say a lockup, but just a massive overshot that corner by a minute. Still struggling a lot under the brakes, but as they said within the game, some tracks now will actually affect different cars compared to last year, where the Williams, it's pretty good in the straight line. It's gonna be pretty challenging to pass, I will say that, because it's not easy to pass a Williams and Logan Sargent. They're pretty aggressive. But Zhou Guanyu's up there in 12th, and now Sargent has actually got away from us within the DRS train. He's actually pulled away. DRS enabled on lap 2, and Gasly now has DRS. Hamilton behind there as well. Hamilton's having a stinker already. I think that he's just boycotting, ready for Ferrari in 2025. Let's see if he actually goes there within the career mode save. I'm interested to see if he stays with the Mercedes, but Hamilton not having a great start to the weekend, and it looks like he had a grid penalty as well. But lap 4 now. Hamilton back there. He's following Pierre Gasly through, and like I said, we have no pace. I mean, I'm struggling just to even get the car turned in. It's a struggle, and Gasly's all over the back of us. I'm thinking about letting Gasly go, but I want to have some clean air because I want to see how the car feels within the clean air, because I don't want to sit behind my teammate and then be under threat from Hamilton. I want to see where I stack up against Gasly. Obviously this is our rival, but obviously Gasly, we want to finish ahead of him most races because more recognition would help us. But Gasly goes down the inside. You saw our tire temperatures right there. They're pretty high, 33% on that left rear, and I'm at left front, which is not great. But Gasly gets around us. We get DRS though on Pierre Gasly. We're gonna fight this all the way. No really point in fighting your teammate. But Gasly, I let Gasly go, and he's gonna hopefully set sail. But I don't know how good his pace is. And once almost had a slide of oversteer, and now side by side by Lewis Hamilton, which is not helping. And Hamilton is trying to get around us, and Hamilton will not be happy that he's fighting two Alpines. I will say that, and that's not great for him. But on lap 7 now, Hamilton's all over the back of us. We're kind of losing the pace to Gasly. The tires are dead. They're dead, and our pit window's around lap 8 to lap 9, so it is still a challenge. But there's the other guys behind us. Like I said, the two Haas's and the two RBs. Those guys, they have no pace, and I'm surprised that we're a little bit faster than them. Obviously a performance update will be coming, maybe after patch or whenever. But whenever that update comes, I expect them to rocket up the grid. So we need to start delivering some results now compared to now. But again, Kick Sauber as well. We need to get ahead of them and Williams, because they will also get a nerf. But lap 8 now. Pit window is open. We're on the C3 for the soft tires. There goes Hamilton. We're going to let Hamilton go. He's not really our race. He's just kind of going to try to get through this grid. But again, he's probably not happy as well. And look at the dirty air. And you can see how much slides we just had. We had to correct the car about like 4 times within one corner, which again, I think that's just something with the handling. But able to save the car. It's somewhat easy to save the car a little bit. It's still a challenge, but you can save it just a little bit, I will say that. And next up, it is go time, and it is time to go in the pits for a change of tires. And we change the tires here now, and it's a bit slow on the front right. That's not great, and that's gonna really affect us there. And yeah, that's not overall great. And we're gonna get out on the pits now, and Sargent is ahead by 6/10, and that 6 seconds. That did not help us whatsoever. So we'll have to keep pushing forward to see what happens. But again, they're on the mediums, we're on the soft tires, so I don't know what the strategy is all about. But I guess Alpine just don't want me. I guess Alpine, they just want to ruin my race. I guess 2 soft tires. I guess we could have went to the mediums, but I didn't really like the mediums in practice. So that was kind of a bad thing. But anyways, outlap critical here. Outlap's always critical on these games. You want to warm these tires up as much as you can, because the cooler tires, cold tires are definitely they definitely can affect the performance within this car. And honestly, I feel like they've honestly switched that over with the cold tires, which they kind of brought back obviously from F122. You remember how bad those were. But again, outlap very critical here. We want to jump ahead of Gasly. I don't know if we will though, or we just, well, I mean, if we don't jump ahead of Gasly, it's fine. But we had a slow stop, so it's going to affect us. But we're going to have a pace advantage over everybody here, because everyone else is going to be on mediums while we're on the soft tires. Gasly's in the pits now. I don't know what tires Gasly is going on to. He can go on whatever tires he wants to, I guess you could say. He can go mediums. Hell, he could probably go hards to the end, but he's really risking a puncture. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. Hamilton's coming out of the pits now. Gasly and also Magnussen. We will get ahead of Magnussen, that's for sure. But again, that slow stop definitely did not help us. We're so far behind. There's Hamilton and there's Gasly. Let's see where we stack up between those two. They're going to be on cold tires coming out the pits. Gasly gets jumped ahead of Hamilton, and yeah, there's that. And Gasly burned a lot of energy through those last couple of laps. And speaking of ERS, we got to recharge our ERS, and oh, big lock up there. It's a struggle with that front end of the car. But anyways, lap 10 now. We got a train forming, and all aboard that choo-choo train. Ricardo is up here within, I believe, one of the podium spots on the hard tires. RB going long. Even Sonoda's going long. Remember, they actually went to the hard tires, and they're holding up the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. They're even holding up George Russell, and also Hulkenberg's also on the mediums as well, same as Norris on the mediums as well. So those guys have not pitted yet. Whenever the pit cycle comes out, they'll stack up wherever. But yeah, Yuki Tsunoda is now leading the Grand Prix. And obviously he's going to have to come into pit soon. But Charles Leclerc in second. Leclerc's got a massive gap to them. And on lap 11 now. Now it's just kind of see where we stack up. And it kind of chase ahead of Pierre Gasly. But also try to learn this car within free air. I'm kind of willing to sacrifice this race to learn how much we got within this car. And there's one of our objectives. Overtake Gasly before lap 16. I doubt it. Our pace is not that great, but on my side. But anything could change within overtime, so we'll just see what happens. But yeah, it's gonna be see how far these tires can go and see how far we can push them. Honestly, I'm willing to push every lap to see what this car can do and what it can't do. But continuing on lap 12, though, so far the pace is not terrible. It's not great, obviously, but it's not terrible. Like, I can keep up with Gasly and Hamilton. It's just more of just getting used to this car. But anyways, chugging in some more laps, and we're kind of going to be pushing the car a little bit through this stint. I want to push this thing to see how fast this car can go and what it can and can't do. I think that's mainly just going to be important to see what the Alpine can do. But obviously, like I said, as you're probably seeing through some of this gameplay, it is a very heavy car. Like, very heavy. I mean, especially through some of these corners, you'll feel the weight. And then some corners you won't. And it's not like the weight of, like, the cars in F1 22 where they had so much, like, understeer and it was just like it was a tank. I mean, it feels less like a tank, but it brings me, like, a little bit of, like, memories of just the handling of just the weight of this car. Like, it's just heavy. And obviously all the carbon fiber, you think it would help the Alpine, but I guess not. Obviously weight reduction upgrades will be needed on this car. Probably one of the more OP upgrades, I think, in the game. But anyways, you can see now very close to Gasly. Very, very, very close, actually. Keeping a gap also with Hamilton as well. But like I said, the dirty air is pretty bad as well, so we're going to have to back off a little bit. We're going to have to watch these engine temps too, because the engine can run very, very, very hot through this stint, and it just depends on see how close we're following within that dirty air. But there's a massive pack, and this pack consists of basically the whole, like, half the grid. The two Kick Saubers and the McLarens and the Astons and the Mercedes and obviously us. We're in this train. This is a fight for points. Obviously, Valtteri Bottas now possibly attacking. I believe that is Oscar Piastri in the McLaren. And Bottas is not get the outside, but here comes Lance Stroll on the outside. Stroll's going to fight that around the outside. He gets around Bottas, and now Bottas is going to lose out of those positions. Hamilton is still back there behind, and obviously we're sitting here in P14 trying to see what we can do. And there was so much understeer following through this part. It's very difficult to follow the car through that part, and that was very, very, very warm. I'm surprised there wasn't a track limits warning right there. Obviously now new to this year, well, as I didn't do last year, since I've been learning wheel, I'm going to be challenging myself and going to be putting on strict corner cutting and strict everything because, well, I got to start learning how to stay in the track limits, I guess you could say. And especially since whenever the league starts in F1 24, strict track limits will be needed. But anyways, let's get back to this. 59% on that front left. In this stint, we pitted, I believe, on lap 8 or 9, and that is bad. It's in punctured territory right now. The tires are so bad, and it's like, oh, well, you're locking up a lot up there. I am locking up a little bit through that corner, but I feel like the right front left is, I'm locking up more there, but it's just clearly just the way that this car is. I mean, it's just eating up the tires on that left side. I don't know if it's just taking too much curb or not, but it's definitely a challenge. I've been trying to kind of stay off the curbs. It went up to 70% now, but anyways, we're going to come into the pits now, and, well, we're going to box. We even want to get off these tires. These tires were dead. I was sliding everywhere. It was a masterpiece. It was not a masterpiece, but it was horrible. But anyways, obviously, they recommended me to go to the hard tires. We switched to mediums. We're going to play this aggressive now. We're going to go mediums, and we're going to go all the way to the end of these mediums. Am I going to regret my decision? Probably, but it's worth the risk. Sometimes you have to risk it for the biscuit, as they say, and we're risking it. And again, it's not like, well, I don't think we will get points. It's possible to still get points, but it's race 1. I doubt it. This car is nowhere near capable of even scoring maybe a point, but it has the ability to stay within the Saubers and the Williams. I think that we're out of the top 5 teams, I'd say. They're in a different category. I would say that, especially Lance Stroll and all of them. Well, actually, we could probably benefit a lot on the Astons, depending on whoever upgrades the most and who doesn't upgrade the most. But they're on hard tires, so they're going to be suffering a lot, and we got the medium. So again, another pace advantage goes towards us. Obviously, we went on the soft tires, and they were all on mediums, and they're using the hards now. So this is the pace advantage for us, but it just depends. It's a hit or miss, you know what I mean? Because who knows how fast the tires are going to wear off. They're going to probably wear off pretty quickly, but in this train, this is a big train of cars that we're in, and this is a moment where we can capitalize. Obviously, we're P19, not great, but whenever everything cycles through, we should be about P15, I'd say, P14 throughout this whole train, because I want to jump ahead of Gasly and Hamilton. Gasly is in the pits now. Hamilton also in the pits as well. I don't know how it's going to be. We have a lot of fuel on board, so we're going to be feeling the weight now later in the stint. But anyways, we're going to be in the DRS of Alex Albon here. We're going to be in a DRS train. Hamilton's coming out the pits now, and I believe Gasly's also coming out the pits now, so it's going to be crucial to get ahead of these guys. Gasly gets out of the pits. He's going to get out ahead of us, and down the inside he goes. And there's a little bit of contact. Oh, Gasly broke his front wing. Our teammate's front wing's broke, and that's not great. And we're going to take a look and see what happened. But Gasly's front wing completely broke. I don't know what happened there. Did he turn in? Oh, Alex turned in, and Gasly's end plate fell off. And that just, well, thanks for shafting my teammate. I appreciate that, Albano. That was a risk. That was a complete shut in the turn. But anyways, we have an advantage now on Alex Albon, though. Albon's struggling in that dirty area. I'm thinking about a ascent here. We go down the inside of Alex Albon. We lock up that front right tire, but we get that move ahead, and now we chase after Hamilton and Lance Stroll. So P16 now, P15, P14 is Stroll and Hamilton. We can probably now this is going to be difficult. We can capitalize, but we need some luck here. Because here's the thing, these two cars, I mean, obviously they're in a league of their own. They got the quicker cars, but again, we know how Lance Stroll is. Hamilton shouldn't even be back here. He's really struggling to adapt to his new machinery. And there goes Hamilton down the inside and Lance Stroll. Here's the thing, we can capitalize if these two battle it out, and we can get within that window. There's one of the kick Saubers up there as well. So the points are up there. I believe the McLaren is in that battle, and I think even maybe the Williams is in that battle. But Lance Stroll gets DRS on Hamilton. We're gonna go down on the inside possibly. No, we don't. We back out of that. Probably the right decision as Stroll gets ahead of Hamilton. They're having a pretty close battle now, and now approaching 9 laps to go. It's gonna be basically hit or miss, see what we can do. But these guys battling obviously is not helping us get close to those Saubers. But again, we want to use these tires as much as we can. Albano possibly has DRS. Obviously that Williams is pretty quick in a straight line, but he's not close enough and stuff like that. Stroll and Hamilton, they're still side by side through turn 1 and turn 2 and turn 3 as they go around. They're still side by side. We're able to capitalize on this now. Now we got to dump some overtake in DRS. I'm going to dump mainly overtake. It's now going to be 3 wide going into turn number 4. Who's going to back out late? We go down the inside. Lance Stroll shuts the door, and we're going to make a little bit of contact with the side pod, and we lose a little bit of the back end there, and we're going to get ahead of Lance Stroll, but we don't get ahead of Hamilton. But that was very dirty, I'd say, by maybe me and Stroll, but that was maybe more of a racing incident. I was trying to capitalize on Stroll, but Stroll shut the door, and I don't know why he didn't leave us more room. We were down on the inside, we had the apex for the corner, and he didn't even bother to go for it. So I don't really understand that, but anyways, lap 23 now. Tires are really starting to fall off now, and I don't really think we're going to be able to catch up to... I think it's still possible, but Hamilton and Sargent are still up there, and we have to try to find a way to capitalize. But again, it's going to be difficult, and there is points. Points are available right there. The 2 kick Saubers are holding those points positions, and even Logan Sargent. Sargent is having an amazing race for that Williams team. He's dragging that. I mean, obviously that Williams is a pretty good car within this game, and that Saubers are going to be difficult to pass. But through this corner now, once again, we got a little bit of a slide there on the exit, and that just absolutely cost us a spot right there. But man, that was so, like, the way that was honestly risky. I thought that was straight into the wall, but I guess it wasn't. man, that again, this car is very twitchy at the rear end, and again, now we're just locking up. Now the tires are officially dead. There's legit, now it's just going to be a fight for whatever the hell we can salvage, I guess, now in this race. Obviously, there's only 4 laps to go. There's not going to be points. There's our first track limits warning, very wide through that corner, but yeah. It's it wasn't the best, I guess you could say. Showed a lot through that stint as well, because again, again with this track, the deg is so high, it's so challenging, it's abysmal to get right, and I guess that's just how it is, you know what I mean? So yeah, I guess we'll just push forward. These last next couple of laps at this point, it's just trying to at least get the car home for the first race of the season. Thankfully, this should help us with our driver rating though, and also beating your teammate on debut would also be very crucial. And again, another back end loss, and we were able to save it that time. That was a good save. I'll give you that one. But like I said, very challenging first race within this car. It's not the best car, it's not the fast car, but like I said, I put up to the challenge. I said I wanted to drive the worst car on the grid, and this is probably the worst we're gonna get, honestly. But again, this Alpine, it's got a long ways to go. And again, this would probably, you know, it depends on where we go next season. You know, obviously this season, you want to start. I would like to start at the worst team, and I like to go up after that. But Kevin Magnussen though has entered this battle, and he's up there in P17. So watch out for Kevin Magnussen towards the last part of this race. Magnussen's going to be all over the back of us now. In lap 28 now, these tires are officially dead. We're also, I don't know how bad the wear is, but again, we're just gonna try to bring it home and also not try to lock up, because I think we're also in puncture territory. But Magnussen is gonna be all over the back of us now. Magnussen will have a shot now on us through this part. A very good overtaking opportunity right here through this DRS zone. We used the outside curb as much as we could. We're gonna try to break the toe ahead of Magnussen, because breaking this toe would obviously benefit the without Magnussen getting passed around us. But again, another slide on the exit. That's not going to help us though, as we head down into the next penultimate corners of this lap now on 28, approaching the last lap. Verstappen has now entered the last lap of the Grand Prix. Or I don't know if it's Verstappen. That is Verstappen, and it is okay. I got confused on if Leclerc was leading by that much, but that's just one of the Haas boys. As I make a mistake. Here we go. Final lap now of this race we're approaching. We're going to have to break the toe ahead of Kevin Magnussen. Magnussen's going to have a fresh battery. We do not have a great battery. We didn't really save up much of the battery for the last lap, so we're going to be very vulnerable here. Magnussen's going to be dumping all his overtake 100%. There's no way in doubt he's not going to dump that all. We also have to keep an eye for Pierre Gasly. Magnussen around the outside. He makes that move done. And we try to fight that back, and we kiss the inside curb. We could lose this fight now ahead of Gasly. Gasly gets ahead. A little bit of a slide there on the exit. It's still side by side. Now we have to dump some overtake to stay ahead of Pierre Gasly. You want to beat your teammate on day one. And we get ahead of Gasly, but unfortunately we lose out to Magnussen, and that looks like it's going to be P16 within this race. I don't think Gasly is really going to fight this back. The gas man, Tsunoda, he's not even a threat. He's about 4 seconds behind us. He's on those soft tires. Ricciardo's also back behind him. So unfortunately we're going to miss out. But anyways, just like in real life, Verstappen won race 1. He's going to win race 1 again. Verstappen's going to win the Bahrain Grand Prix. Second place is George Russell. Third place was Sergio Perez. So great result for them. Leclerc comes home in 4th, and then a tight fight between the Astons and the McLarens. But again, look at that tire, 75%. We brought this car home, thankfully. Race 1, I learned a lot about this car, learned a lot about this game, got better throughout the stint. But yeah, it's fortunately going to be P16. Not the greatest of days, but it's a good start.
Race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
That's a fantastic team effort then to secure victory here in the desert.
Well, all that off-season work clearly paying off here today, Crofty. A brilliant way to start the season with a solid victory. It's a real good confidence boost as well, and you feel like that's going to really propel them forward through to the next race coming up.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team.
There he is. Max Verstappen has won the Bahrain Grand Prix. Great result for him. Obviously, Red Bull, just like in real life, obviously starting off strong, and now maybe mid-season they'll struggle a little bit. But yeah, Russell comes home P2 within that Mercedes. I'm kind of surprised that Mercedes was able to get P2. I think they're like 4th in the performance chart. I think they're 4th. I don't know. But yeah, very, very, very good good start for them. Obviously on my side, we'll do a post-race debrief. Very challenging. Again, it's race 1. Obviously race 1 is always difficult to judge on, you know, like, oh, how good is the car is. But again, I know that we're nowhere near where we want to be. Obviously the Alpine is not the best car. That's why I picked it, because again, I like driving for the worst, you know, the worst car. Obviously it makes it more fun, especially going to the top. But again, it's very challenging. Bottas and Zhou, they both get points for Kick Sauber, so that helps them out. Sargent brought home a 12th. Hamilton misses out on the points though, so that's really going to affect him and his confidence within the championship. Sainz gets to the fast lap of the race though, but yeah, so far, as I can say right now, it's not great, but I think that we're able to stay within those cars, within the Saubers and the Williams. I think we're able. But yeah, taking a look, that was 1 track limits warning the entire race, so definitely some improvement. But yeah, it looks like Pierre Gasly, looks like he got involved. It looks like he was the reason why that happened with Albano. But yeah, very, I guess you could say, very boring race a little bit through the middle of it, but then it got exciting at the end. But yeah, I wasn't very happy with the handling. Obviously it's a challenge still. I hope that EA does make an advantage, but once you get used to the game and playing it, it gets better. Obviously we sit 9th now in the standings, in the constructor standings, so yeah, obviously not the greatest, but again, hopefully we can get somewhere else out of that. So yeah, but that's all I got in today's video, y'all. Apologies that this video is coming out a little bit late than expected. Obviously this like last months are going to be very busy, many of the next 2 weeks, and got to try to find opportunities to do a commentary for half these videos. I have a lot of videos edited. I played a lot of the game during the weekend. Obviously, as I'm recording this, is about Sunday night, so I'm trying to keep a little bit quiet because obviously I got some people that are sleeping, so I don't want to wake them up. But yeah, obviously it wasn't the best race, but we'll keep away at it. But anyways, thank you all for watching this video. Please go check out more of my videos. I greatly appreciate it. Like and subscribe. I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next one.